Hello, darlings. I have not been live on Facebook in a while. I'm a little bit resentful of Facebook, to be quite honest, because it ends up deleting my lives after like a month. That's annoying. So I'm like, there were live videos when I very first started showing up online. I saved a lot of them, but not all of them. And anyway, it's really powerful to see the growth. Kind of actually relevant to what I'm talking about in this live. First of all, let me show you where I'm at, because this is just like so beautiful. So I'm in, what's it called? Anyway, I won't tell you so you don't follow me. But anyway, this is Edinburgh Castle. And what's really fucking amazing, you guys, is when I started my affiliate marketing business almost 6 years ago, I had to turn away from 4 years of building multiple businesses, having my toe dipped in way too many things. I dropped well over 6 figures over the course of 4 years for an art business that was just fucking barely having its head above water, truly. And I was like, fuck, well, if I failed at all these things, how in the world am I going to be successful at high ticket remote sales? Like, how in the fuck, if I have a hard time selling $30 earrings on Instagram, how in the fuck am I going to actually sell affiliate offers through a digital platform that are high ticket? Like, it just didn't make actual sense to me. But what I knew was the life that I really wanted to live, I had to think so much bigger than my current circumstances. I know you guys hear this a lot, especially if you're already in the personal development realm, but what I want to really speak to are the people who, they've done the thing, they've invested in themselves, they fucking worked with the coaches, they launched the offers, they did the businesses, and they feel like everything that they're doing isn't working, so they're kind of in this standstill of not wanting to continue on, really. And what I want to tell you is something I had to really realize when I walked away. Holy Jesus, I think this is an Egyptian fountain, you're going to see. But what I had to realize was there's no such thing as failure. There's only lessons in discernment. And you have to make mistakes as an entrepreneur. Like, honestly, losing money, you're actually just investing in your learning. It is absolutely a part of entrepreneurship. It just is. It absolutely is. To be an entrepreneur means to actually take risks. And sometimes those risks, they don't pan out, but they are often a redirection into something that is much more aligned for you. Maybe you learned how your energy actually operates and what you actually truly need to really be in integrity with your values and how you want to show up in the world. And so yeah, you gotta course correct sometimes, you gotta fucking burn it all down to start it again. And sometimes it feels like you've done it a lot. You burnt it all down, you fucking rebuilt from scratch over and over and over again. And there's another little manor over here. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Ah! Okay. My message for you today is the fact that I could have let myself stop myself back then. Okay, I was at the tail end of a 16-year eating disorder. I was overweight. If you guys have seen videos or photos of me at the time, I was living in a bus, okay, with my ex-partner at the time. I was in a codependent relationship. It was super pudgy. And I wasn't eating right. I wasn't focusing on my health because I was working so damn much on performing and teaching workshops and trying to put together, I was doing things on my Etsy. I got in a car crash rushing to mail out this Etsy order where it was in the rain. I had all kinds of other shit to make that day, hand make that day. I fucking gotta go to the post office and ship this. And I crashed my car because I was just trying to fucking do the most. Like, I legit crashed my car. The post office was not even 10 minutes away. And I was just like frazzled. I was in chaos, really trying to hold it afloat. And like any little emergency, thankfully it wasn't a huge crash. I didn't end up totaling the minivan that I was in. But anything like that, there was just like, it just felt like the universe was fucking bitch slapping me in the face over and over and over and over and over again. I was like, dude, something's got to give. So when I found high ticket remote sales, I was like, okay, sister, we're going to do this again. We need to know that this is like that this is actually truly an aligned step. And for me at the point, I knew that people were making money online with digital marketing. I needed to find the people that felt really aligned for me. Anyway, fast forward, I ended up watching this webinar. She talked about high ticket, leverage, and automation. And I was literally trying to do all of that within my business. And I really realized that I could just plug into this business model and actually have all of these things that I was trying to fucking juggle like a one-woman circus on my own. I could plug into a business model that I already had that part done. And I got to focus on the fun part, which was marketing, and learn how to actually turn my lifestyle into income. So the reason why Edinburgh Castle is so significant to me is because once I started to see what was actually truly possible for me, I started to dream bigger. Okay, my dream was suddenly like, okay, I had this bus that I was living in where it was 12 miles to the gallon. I was like, oh, this is really expensive diesel. Then I can't really like rent a place because of all the money that I'm putting towards it. That's the mindset that I was at because I was fucking struggling paying for my living expenses with like low ticket offers, things that I was like hustling my ass off for. It was fucking tight. And then I found this space and I was like, wow, where's my life going to be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? Now I'm in this 5-year mark. And I told myself that I was going to live abroad. I wanted to go live in Europe. I always had this like thing with, maybe it was Instagram selling me the dream. I don't know. Excuse moi. I did my neti pot this morning, so it's coming back out, the drip system. Instagram selling me these dreams of people doing their dance videos or their acrobats or whatever in front of beautiful architecture. And you know what's so funny? I find out now that a lot of people that do that, they're still actually broke. But what I really love to show people is like, you don't have to make that trip be the thing that you just do briefly and go back to a life where you're then kind of like, you know how people are living for the weekend and a 9 to 5? Well, when you become self-employed, you kind of like live for that trip, you know? You like hustle, because you're like, oh, you know, I have my off season or whatever at this time, and then you go live your life. But I'm like, what if we just actually fucking lived our lives and plugged into a business model that allowed ourselves to actually learn how to work with our energy throughout our cycles, throughout the seasons? So I told myself I was going to be living in Europe. I was going to be fit. I was going to be dancing around the beautiful architecture. And once that dream started to get closer, I told myself by 2030, I'm going to buy a castle and turn it into an event center. The first castle event has happened this year on Beltane. We have another one happening on Samhain next year. And before I started even talking, well, when I started talking about the castle events, I made this graphic on Canva, okay? It literally was just like sharing with people that if you partner with me and I can help you hit your first milestone of making your first $10,000 a month, making your first 6 figures, and then as a reward for that, if that happens within the year that you come in, you get to come to the castle events for free. That's still a thing, by the way. But I made my first graphic for that. I put a random castle from Canva on it, and it was Edinburgh Castle. And I didn't even know Edinburgh existed. I didn't really think I was going to move to Scotland. I was just about to move to France. And when I realized Edinburgh was a place, this was just about like a month or two ago. I mean, I realized Edinburgh was a place last year, but about a month or two ago, I had already planned I was going to be coming here, and I realized this is the fucking castle in my fucking graphics. So I share this with you because if I hadn't moved through all my resistances and my fear of failing yet again, before I started my remote high ticket sales, I have no idea what I'd be doing at this point. I started January 2020. 3 months before lockdowns, I get really nervous actually thinking about where I would be at. I mean, truly, I don't have parents that I could just go to their home and, you know, if all else doesn't work out, I could go stay at my family's house. That's not a reality for me. I grew up in my teenage years in foster care. I've got my grandma and my aunt that are quite close to me, at least via phone, and but they're hoarders, you know, like I'm just refused to be in that. I couldn't ever. This is legally, fundamentally not suitable for me to live there, even when I was in foster care. So it's like, to think of what I would have been doing being in lockdowns if I didn't actually choose to be in a model where I can actually help people create true freedom, it fucking scares the shit out of me. And I know that a lot of people, they spawned a lot of their coaching businesses during lockdowns. And what I think is really interesting within the coaching industry is that, in my opinion, this is just my fucking opinion, okay? In my opinion, there's a lot of inauthenticity, like, blooming in the coaching industry. And it's almost like you pay this coach that promises you their strategy and their proven way of doing things, but they're like becoming an echo chamber of their coach, who's an echo chamber of their coach. And it's this chain, it's this lineage of coaches who you're learning to be a coach from. And in my opinion, it just continues to outsource, actually, the power of other people. Not all coaches. I'm not saying all coaches. But in a lot of ways, the coaching industry thrives because people are outsourcing their power and wanting them to actually fix the problem. Whereas I really love high-ticket remote sales, because when people start this business, it's like, it is a self-leadership type of business. You get to come here and make your own decision. Yes, you have a community, you have a mentor, which I am a mentor, I'm not a coach. A mentor is very, very different. A mentor is actually truly invested in seeing you fully thrive, not just for the duration of the container that you've paid for, but as a mentor, when you actually partner with me in high-ticket remote sales, I am invested to help you win, because yes, I earn from you actually blowing up. You can make more money than me, so no, it is not a pyramid. However, it is built in this way where it is creating equity with people that we are working with and serving. So this is what I absolutely love, is helping people take the reins of their life, putting the power back in their hands, putting the money back in their hands. And I'm just so sick of people having a lot of these things come up of like, well, I've already invested in all these programs and all these coaches and everything that I'm doing isn't working. What if everything that you are nervous about fucking failing on, again, was actually teaching you the model that you actually really need to set yourself free? So if you're not looking for another program, you're not looking for another coach, but you actually want to have a strategy that fucking works, there are people in third world countries who are completely changing their lineage and cycles of generational wealth. If that's something that you desire and you want to band together with people who are actually winning together, you got to check this out. I have my Follow the Muse masterclass. I talk about a giveaway that I'm actually doing for our castle event in Samhain next year. And it's really exciting, especially for people who are already facilitators, who are already coaches, who want to shift into mentorship and really creating a movement with the people that they serve. And instead of you being hired, $5-10 grand to facilitate this castle that happens next year, imagine when you partner with this movement and you get to support other people in making that plus so much more, and you earning 6 figures plus from now until then by actually partnering with a movement with what you do. Sounds fucking crazy, right? It sounds epic. So I explain how this works with automated high ticket remote sales in my webinar called Follow the Muse. Just drop Muse, I'll send it over to you. I really hope this live came through. Excusez-moi. I am going to follow the Muse now. Have a beautiful rest of your day.